Some of them sold their motorbikes. Some ended their leases early. Some quietly disappeared from the local expat cafes. No goodbye party. No dramatic Facebook post. No see you again soon. They just left. The same people who once said, "This is paradise. I'll retire here forever. Life is easier here." So, what changed? Why are some foreigners leaving the Philippines in 2026? Is it money, relationships, culture shock that never really went away? Or is it something deeper? Something nobody really talks about openly? Because behind the beautiful beaches, behind the smiling photos, there are stories that don't make it to YouTube thumbnails. And today we're talking about the untold truth. Hello, this is Sherry, and today's topic is a little sensitive, but very real. Because if you've been paying attention, especially in expat groups, comment sections, or even just in daily life, you'll notice something. Some foreigners are quietly leaving the Philippines. Not all, many are still very happy here, but a number of them pack up and go home. And the reasons? They are not always what people expect. So let's talk about it honestly, with a little humor, a little truth, and a lot of understanding. The dream versus the real life. Many foreigners come here with a dream: warm weather, friendly people, affordable living, and of course, the idea of a simple, peaceful life. They imagine waking up near the beach, drinking coffee slowly. No stress, no rush. And in the beginning, it feels exactly like that. People smile at you, you feel welcome, someone calls you sir every 5 minutes, and suddenly you feel important. Let's be honest, some of them feel like celebrities for the first time in their lives. Even just walking in the mall, someone says, "Hi, Joe," and you're like, "Wow, I'm famous now." But after a few months or a few years, real life starts showing up. Bills, traffic, heat, noise, misunderstandings, and that's when reality slowly replaces the dream. The cost of living surprise. A big shock for many is the cost of living. Yes, it can still be cheaper than Western countries, but it's not as cheap as it used to be. Rent is higher, groceries are more expensive, electricity bills can make you question your life choices, especially if the aircon is on all day. And let's be real, once you get used to aircon in the Philippines, it's over. You can't go back to just electric fan. You'll be lying in bed at night like, am I melting or am I just breathing? Some foreigners came thinking their pension would stretch very far. And at first it does. But over time, lifestyle changes. Comfort costs money. Imported food costs more. Travel costs more. Suddenly they realize this isn't the super cheap paradise I imagined. Dating expectations versus reality. Now let's talk about the relationship, because this is a big part of why many came in the first place. Some foreigners arrive with a very specific idea of Filipinas: sweet, loyal, family oriented, simple. And yes, many Filipinas are still like that. But modern Filipinas in 2025 2026, they're different from before. They're more independent, more vocal, more confident. They have standards now. And sometimes that surprises foreigners. Before, being a foreigner was already a big advantage. Now, it helps, yes, but it's not enough. Personality matters, respect matters, Emotional maturity matters. And some women are no longer impressed just because you have a foreign passport. Some men thought they could just arrive, smile, and automatically become top choice. But now it's like interview process. Social media changed the game. Social media has completely changed how people think both sides. Filipinas now see content about self-worth, independence, healthy relationships, boundaries. Foreigners see content about high-value women, red flags, gold digger warnings. So now everyone is more cautious, more observant, more protective. Before, relationships were more private. Now, one argument and suddenly it's a Facebook post. One misunderstanding and it becomes a TikTok story. Sometimes the relationship hasn't even ended yet, but the caption is already know your worth. It creates pressure, and some foreigners get tired of the drama that social media can create. Family culture. Beautiful but heavy. Family is everything in the Philippines. And for many foreigners, this is one of the most beautiful parts. You're welcomed, you're included, you're treated like family. But sometimes it can also feel overwhelming because when you date someone seriously, you're not just dating one person. You met the whole clan, the cousins, the titas, the neighbors. The dog knows you already. And in some situations, there are expectations, not always from the woman herself, but from the environment. And some foreigners start to feel pressure. They came for one girlfriend, then suddenly there's birthday, a baptism, a fiesta, and three school contributions. For some, it's heartwarming. For others, it becomes stressful. Loneliness they didn't expect. This one is deeper. At first, life feels exciting. New country, new people, new relationship. But after some time, language barriers, cultural differences, different humor, different way of thinking. And if the relationship has problems, the loneliness hits harder because they're far from home, far from old friends, far from familiar places. Even if they're surrounded by people, they can still feel alone. And not everyone talks about this. Some live simply because they miss belonging somewhere. The heat, the traffic, the everyday struggles. Let's add a little reality here. Living here long term is different from vacation. The heat can be intense. Traffic can test your patience. Burnouts still happen in some places. Nothing builds character like sweating while standing in line and the aircon suddenly stops. At first, it's funny. After years, it can become tiring. Some just reach a point where they want a quieter, more predictable life again. Modern Filipinas are changing. This is a big one. Filipinas today are not the same as before, and that's not a bad thing. More women are working, building careers, running businesses, earning online. They don't always depend financially anymore. When a woman doesn't depend on you, the relationship becomes more equal. Some foreigners love that. Others, they came expecting a more traditional setup. So when they met a strong, confident Filipina who speaks her mind, they got shocked. They expected, yes, love, but sometimes they get, no, that's not right. And that adjustment is not easy for everyone. Broken hearts still exist. Now, let's be honest. Some live because of heartbreak. They feel deeply in love. They trusted quickly. They invested emotionally. And when it didn't work, it hurt, really hurt. So instead of staying and being reminded every day, they live. Not because they hate the Philippines, but because the memories are too heavy. Ego and pride. This part is sensitive but real. Some foreigners enjoyed feeling admired here. And in the beginning, they really are. But over time, respect becomes mutual. It's no longer automatic. And if someone is used to being treated like a king, adjusting to equal treatment can feel uncomfortable. So instead of adapting, some choose to go somewhere else. But let's be fair, not everyone is living. Many foreigners are happy, very happy. They built families, strong relationships, peaceful lives. They adapted to the culture. They respected the people, they grow, and they stay. So this isn't about saying the Philippines is bad. It's about saying reality is different from fantasy. Here's the real truth. Some came here looking for an escape from loneliness, from failed marriages, from stress back home. And they believed moving here would fix everything. But problems don't disappear just because you change countries. They follow you. And if expectations were too high, disappointment becomes heavy. Some foreigners are living in 2026. Yes, but not always for the reason people think. Not because Filipinas changed too much. Not because the Philippines became worse. Sometimes it's just life. Expectations didn't match reality. Love didn't work out. Lifestyle didn't fit. And that's okay because the Philippines is still beautiful, still warm, still full of kind people. But it's not a fantasy land. It's a real place with real women, real relationships, real challenges. And maybe that's what makes it meaningful. If you can survive the heat, traffic, the karaoke at midnight, and a strong Filipina who can out argue you, then you can probably survive anything. And the one who say they're not just chasing paradise anymore. They found something real. Sometimes real is better than perfect. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.